And being a black man running for a local office, you do see different challenges that do affect you based on your social status, your demographic, your economics. And I want to see all that improved. I'm one of those people that say keep the change. Because every change is not an improvement, but every improvement is a change. I minister every Sunday in Washington Heights. I see people that look just like us, full of potential, full of outstanding greatness. But for some odd reason, they're living in less than human conditions. They call it housing and urban development. I call it housing and underdevelopment. I'm in Hollybrook Homes and Apartments on a weekly basis. And I'm constantly trying to find ways to help our people get to where they need to be. Can you please say it with me? Excel is the movement.
Excel is the movement.
And excellent is the destination.
Excellent is the destination.
The building blocks for success, you build from the ground up. You start with the environment. After environment, then you have education. After education, then you have economics. And after economics, then you are truly empowered. So you got to build from the ground up. Whenever you got people living in contaminated lands, contaminated homes, and you're wondering why they're acting a certain way. They say, well, did you see what happened on Facebook out in Washington Heights? You see how your people acting? You know, they always are people when they're doing something negative. But it is asinine to expect to stabilize people in a destabilized environment.
That's right.
You mean to tell me you got people who can't live in what they would call a hostile work environment, but you expect our people to survive in a hostile living environment? And then everybody's self-medicated, but they can't get treatment because they don't have transportation, and they're not given opportunities because they got backgrounds. But their backgrounds, if it's a criminal when it comes to violence, when violence is something that's observed, so you mean to tell me because they grew up in a home with domestic violence, that because they took on a trait that was taught to them, they took on a behavior that was taught to them, and nobody helped them modify that behavior, because when they demonstrated in school, they didn't get help, they got put out of class. When they demonstrated in school, they didn't get help, they got sent to the principal office. When they demonstrated the behavior in school, they got put out of school. And then when they did it to the police, they've been doing it with mama, they've been doing it at school, they've been doing it with the principal, but then when they do it with the police, they get shot. My thing is that there's a greater hope for our people. This is a time, this is an era where we have to be connected like never before. And then we tap into that education. Everybody doesn't learn the same. So why in the world do we have a cookie cutter experience when it comes to education? In 5th grade, I couldn't read. My 5th grade teacher called me and my mom in the office and said, listen, I can't pass him because he ain't ready. But then I gave the teacher something she gave me. But Miss Pillin, you told us that where there is a will, there is a way. She said, all right, well, I'm going to work with you, but it ain't going to be easy. Every day after school, she tutored me. My mama didn't have transportation, so she took me home after she tutored me for free. Lo and behold, I graduated from Edward Waters College, senior class president. The last class I had to complete before I could get my degree was student teaching. Student teaching is the last course in order to get your degree in education. You got to prove that you're able to do what that degree says you can do. You take over that classroom. The last class I had to teach was 5th grade reading.
Wow.
See, what happens is we've adopted a European mindset. And when I say European, I'm not relegating all Europeans to one white woman. So to my light-skinned sister, please don't take this personal. But in European culture, the people are taught to serve the king. But in African culture, the king is taught to serve the people. And when we say we got too many chiefs and not enough Indians, because people got the wrong concept. See, when people find out, oh, you really got to work. You really got to study. You really got to be engaged. You really got to spend time with these people. Then all of a sudden, you realize people don't really want that position. They don't really want that job because it requires work. But when we start talking about economics, we've been getting hoodwinked. We've been getting bamboozled. Everbank. Ain't nobody making money but Shah Khan. Now once again, if we're going live, I'm not hating on you. But once again, when we don't have people fighting for us to make sure that we get what we deserve. What I mean by that is you got a $10 million Everbank field grant. What that does is it puts money back into the community. But if we don't have people with kahunas that's going to fight to keep that money in the community, what happens is it goes back to the general fund. So then you wonder why the east side looks the way it does. Yep. Why certain parts of downtown looks the way it does. Yep. You got teachers complaining about resources. You got principals complaining about funds. You got police officers saying, well, listen, we don't have enough work. We don't have enough pay in order to be able to provide this type of service. But if we fight to keep those funds in that community, maybe we can get the same results that they do on the other side of the river.
Yeah, that's right.
You got historic Springfield grants. You got Jacksonville International Airport funding. And then you wonder why people on certain sides of town get certain privileges. I want to fight for you. I want to fight to make the hood great again.
Straight up.
And once again, when you look at it, I got some visions, I got some ideas, linking up with great people like Mr. Joseph. Can you clap it up for him one time? Listen to me. They messed up when they taught your boy how to read. We are the only people with the international airport that doesn't fly anywhere international. I want to help our people bridge the gap to Haiti. I want to help our people bridge the gap to the Bahamas. I want to help our people bridge the gap to Trinidad. Now y'all probably saying, well, that ain't that far. We ain't got to go that far to get started. That's right. And we already got the infrastructure for customs. So therefore, we can't get the airport to have us get those flights there. But then I'm saying to myself, how much money are we losing to people driving 2 hours to Orlando to fly across the river? I'm calling it a river because it's a small flight. That's what I'm getting at. And what I'm saying is that, look, can you imagine if we circumvent those millions and millions of dollars? We get black investors. We get minority investors. And we create our own charter flights. And we fly the people that look like us back home. And now all of a sudden we get access to their market. And then we open up Jack's Port to where not just Crowley making money, but we making money.
Straight up.
Then we got real commerce. Now we're doing buying and selling and shipping and trade. We stimulating your home and my home and our home. And then we got long-term sustainability. It can be done, and it can be done in this generation, and it can be done in this era.